Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers has officially declared for the NFL draft, and I think he's a smart man to do so. Not because he's going to be a first-round pick or that he had an incredible year this season, but the quarterback draft class is way down compared to years past, especially last year. I think Jalen Milroe made the decision to declare for the NFL draft for the exact same reason. You know, they say in the stock market game, they tell you to buy the dip, and Quinn Ewers is doing exactly that. Because there's no guarantee that next year's draft class won't be loaded, or if he transferred and stay in college, that it wouldn't all fall apart, especially if he goes to a lesser team with a lesser coach, because for a quarterback, it doesn't get better than Steve Sarkisian. I think there's a chance that if he stayed in college as well, he could end up going undrafted or worse. We know Quinn Ewers has been hurt before. It could be a devastating injury. And don't forget, since he won't get drafted extremely high, he could fall to the perfect place where there are pieces around him and he has time to sit back for a year or two and kind of adjust to the NFL game. If he has staying power in the league, probably going to be as a backup. So you might as well get that started now and take advantage of the down year at the quarterback position in this draft class, as I mentioned earlier. It's a smart move by Quinn. Surprised Carson Beck didn't do it. Now let's see if that stock will rise. David Cohn, Quinn Ewers going to the NFL draft first. Are you surprised that he did? And secondly, should he have?
No, I'm not surprised that he did, but no, he should return to college for a couple reasons here. The first one is the injury history that you talked about. Quinn Ewers at Texas, and even before when he transferred from the Buckeyes, he hasn't stayed healthy for an entire football season. And, you know, if we were talking about a running back and you said, look, man, he just got banged up in a couple games throughout his career, I'd say, you know what, it's better just to go ahead and go to the NFL. Why take any more wear and tear on your body for an extra season? But I do think that Quinn Ewers could benefit from a similar strategy that Michael Penix Jr. utilized when he was at Washington. Had some injuries when he was at Indiana, goes to Washington, has back-to-back seasons where he plays every single game. One of those is a national championship season, and he throws for 9,000 total yards. Then Michael Penix Jr. got drafted in the top 10 by the Falcons, and now he's beat out Kirk Cousins. He's the starting quarterback. I think Quinn Ewers' draft stock could rise if he could come back and prove I can stay healthy for an entire season. The second part of this to me is NIL. I mean, if Quinn Ewers were playing when I was playing, yeah, I would be singing a different tune right now. If you can get drafted in the NFL, go do that, be a professional, and make that money. But now these guys are professionals. We just saw Carson Beck transfer from the University of Georgia to Miami. Carson Beck is going to make more money with the Miami Hurricanes than he would if he was with the Miami Dolphins. He's making more money than Brock Purdy. Quinn Ewers, you're in the catbird seat, man. You could either stay at Texas, or if they want to move on to Arch Manning, you could transfer to a different school, be the starting quarterback, play for 20 years at this point. The NCAA can't tell you to leave. Make that NIL money. You're good. So I would stay in college if I was.
Well, let me ask you, too, because I get that side of it. I think now with NIL, it has changed some things. But I think I'm looking risk versus reward, and I think I'm looking at the timeline here. So if you truly believe that you're an NFL quarterback, which I think Quinn Ewers does, and Carson Beck probably does, too. I think there can be different shades of gray when it comes to this. But that 1 year of making that NIL money if he goes somewhere else, and then he doesn't have a good year, and he doesn't get drafted, and he doesn't get his chance in the NFL, you think that risk is better to take other than saying, listen, I may get taken in the third or fourth round, but at least I'll get a chance in the NFL, I'll make some money there, and then could make some big money, which I get what you're saying.
Well, again, to the Michael Penix Jr. point, like he could have said, man, I got injured, but I'm still in my heart, I believe I'm an NFL guy. Had a couple injuries, man. Maybe I should just go and be a fifth-round pick. He didn't do that. He decided to stay in college, went to Washington. Again, utilize that little bit of extra eligibility you get from the COVID years and with all the lawsuits the NCAA has gone through, and he ended up being a top 10 pick. So, yeah, again, risk-reward for Quinn Ewers. Like, if he really truly believes like he's good enough to return to, if from your question, the mindset is, well, if I'm just going to get hurt again, then I might as well go ahead and go to the NFL where I can make more money. Then your NFL career to me is already not going to work out.
Yeah, you can be a journeyman. We've seen the
well, if he
quarterback.
If he goes back to college, he's not playing at Texas.
No, that's the craziest part.
Everybody says that like it's just an assured statement.
Well, it doesn't.
We know that.
Like it does.
Texas fans say it. I get, because Texas fans want Arch Manning to be his uncles and his grandfather. Does Steve Sarkisian think that? He's not even putting the kid in on fourth and one at the goal line.
Might not even be coaching at Texas.
That's fair. That's a different point.
Well, let's just say he is, though. Do you think Steve? Because I think it would be nuts to not want Quinn Ewers back. Made it to 2 straight semifinals. I mean, it's a known product. And you know what? If he gets hurt, there goes Arch Manning.
Well, the big thing about it is the draft just an NIL play for Quinn. Is he going to get more money now from somewhere? Because I don't know if y'all saw it, but I saw it. All the reports of teams wanting Quinn Ewers. I saw Ohio State. I saw Alabama. And I'm talking big money. We saw what Carson Beck just got paid at Miami. Is Quinn Ewers basically declaring is a play to get more NIL money?
You know, it would be a move. Transfer to Texas A&M. You want an NIL play? Transfer to Texas.
I don't know. I think Mike
go to College Station.
Straight.
Go to College Station.
And right
now,
want to
make a splash.
Right now, he's projected as the 52nd overall pick.
Yeah. So
and what number as quarterback?
He would go.
What would that?
So
be?
Right now, I mean, if we want to go through the order, I mean, you have Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders, 1 or 2, whichever one floats your boat. I mean, Jalen Milroe's coming into the number 3 quarterback right now.
Yeah, so I mean, to your
point.
And
then Quinn Ewers, and after Quinn.
The class ain't deep, brother.
That's what I'm saying. And if I'm Quinn Ewers and I have that injury history, because it's funny, you can look at the both sides of the coin on that. The way you brought up the injury history with Michael Penix Jr., it obviously worked out. But Quinn Ewers, it just seems like he's a little bit more fragile than most. I just wonder if Quinn Ewers goes and he breaks his leg, God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen, or breaks his arm or something. Now, you think your draft stock is down this year? You go and do that and just have an okay year, or maybe it was more Sarkisian than it was Quinn Ewers. Maybe that was the thing, which you could find out. Maybe there's a little bit of fraudulence in there. Maybe where you go, the offensive line isn't great. And you look even worse than you did. That was my point.
I mean, and we think about it. I mean, what I've been doing is looking at the 2026 quarterback NFL draft. And right now, if these guys, I mean, you got Nico, you got Lenoris, you got Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, you got Drew Aller, you got Sam Levitt. I mean, would it be better for him to go in the class next year? Probably not.
All of those names have to prove it too.
You got Cade Klubnik, who proved it to me.
I think Cade might be the
best one out of all.
I always go back to a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, because who knows? It's a gamble either way. But to me, and I wonder this, and I want to know what the chat thinks about this too. If Carson Beck would have declared for the NFL draft, do you think Quinn stays in college? Do you think some of these guys are looking? They obviously have to be. Yeah. They're looking at who. All right, Jalen Milroe's going. Well, Carson Beck's staying. All right, I'm going to go. Wait, if Jalen Milroe and Carson Beck went, do you think Quinn Ewers would have come back?
Yeah, another part of that's a problem is like there's so much uncertainty with how long you're allowed to play college football anymore. Yeah, it's just crazy that we don't know. Like here, I'm looking at right now year by year. So he spent 2021 with OSU and then 3 years with Texas. That's 4 years. Now, granted, he didn't play with the Buckeyes, so let's just say that's a redshirt year. Could have another year. But again, like, could he play for 2 or even 3 more college seasons? The fact no one knows the answer to that is wild. I did have our producer, Justine, pull a couple plays from here because this does bode well for Quinn Ewers. I think this was when he got hurt a couple years ago in that big game against Alabama, and I want to immediately follow it up with a play of him beating Alabama the very following year, just to show, like, here's some scenarios of how he did bounce back from injury.
Go ahead and play it. And this is Sark.
Ewers sprinting out, reverses, lets it go wisely, and just throws it out.
Remember, this was Alabama at Texas in 2022.
Boy, Sark getting cute at the 1, huh?
Yeah.
How many times, bud? How many times? Yeah, I remember that. He got absolutely drunk.
But it was a home and home. He goes to Tuscaloosa the very following year, and this was Nick Saban's final year at Alabama, and he throws balls like this.
Go ahead and play it. This is the one you did huddle up on, right, D?
I think so. Yep. Condensed splits. Post over the top. Look at that.
Yeah.
So, look, I mean, the kid's got skills. Obviously, he's one of the top 10 quarterback recruits ever coming out of high school.
And he has the chance to go, realistically, if you look at it, be the second highest quarterback ever drafted out of Texas.
Yeah, and I wonder.
Who?
Vince Young.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, out of University. I thought you meant just the state of Texas. I'm like, Matt Stafford was from Texas.
I'm very interested because Quinn's got good arm strength. I don't think he has great arm strength. He's not going to run the 40 great. He's not going to broad jump great. I wonder how the combine and all that stuff is going to go for him, how much he's going to do. He's going to have a pro day, and it'll probably look good. But again, timing and circumstances, everything here. And I think he made the right decision. I heard somebody on social media was like, well, he kind of reminds me of Jared Stidham. I don't hate that comp. I don't hate it. I feel like Jared was a little more athletic than he was, though.
And this isn't final either. I mean, Carson Beck declared, and Cam Ward a year ago.
It could be a leverage play.
It could be a leverage play.
Yeah.
Like if you're Quinn Ewers to get more money in NIL situations. Because regardless of what we want to say, there will be teams, high-profile teams in college football that would love to have.
I see what you're saying. You're talking about what Miami did a year ago with Cam Ward.
Correct.
Basically to drag him back out from declaring.
Correct. Well, it's what you have players do that hop in the transfer portal at schools now to leverage the school they're currently at to pay more NIL money to keep them. I've heard some stories, too, in college basketball of that are absolutely nuts. I'm talking guys going into the portal like the last day out of nowhere you can go in the portal to up the ante of the NIL money that they get. It's a business, man. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Want to get to 200,000 subs. Let's make it happen because I believe in you.